Rest to the session.
Assalamu alaikum. Namaskar. Good morning. It is very well in time, I feel, that such a dynamic topic such as the road ahead for Muslim Ummah has been chosen. I thank the organization and especially the esteemed university A.M.U. for doing this at a critical juncture for Muslims not just in India but across the world. I'll quickly go through two main things that we from Hyderabad have been raising on various platforms, as also we doing tafakkur as ordained by Allah Ta'ala in the Quran. The two main things are: what is the status of a Muslim from within? How does he feel vis-a-vis the Quran? What is the status of the Muslim as a group in the current society, both at the global arena as well as in the Indian arena? Now, with so many learned people here, so many youngsters, the budding leaders, I would never think that what I am telling is optimal and final. Definitely, Shura has to be encouraged. But I would start off by telling this, कि आम मुसलमान इंडिया का खास करके उसकी ये राय है कि जब वो मस्जिद में जाता है, जाती नहीं कह सकती क्योंकि इंडिया के मस्जिदों में औरत दाखिल नहीं है। जब आम मुसलमान मस्जिदों में जाता है तो वो ये कहता है बाहर आके कि अगर जो कहा जा रहा है वो हमें समझता नहीं है तो इसका मतलब वो खुतबा है। This is the present status in which we find ourselves in, where we do not understand, we cannot understand, we are not capacitated to understand what is being told in masjid, the hub, the core center, the spinal cord of Islam. Now, coming down to how a Muslim feels vis-a-vis the Quran as his self, personal self. If you look at the Quran and what it expects from a Muslim, is it laid down or no? Yes, it is very clearly laid down. What God expects from a Muslim individually. His position on ethics. The Quran, if we ponder upon, is nothing but a storehouse, a repository of ethics and moral behavior, not just towards Muslims. Quran, as per Surah Baqarah, ayat 185, is unzila lin nas, not for Muslims. So it is a repository of moral behavior, good behavioral conduct towards not just other co-humans, but to the entire environment, to the entire biodiversity. So has this feeling sunk into every Muslim? Does a Muslim feel confident with a book beside him, which is the miraculous book, the only book without the author's name in the entire globe? Where there are billions of books, but there's one book without an author's name, that's the Quran. And we claim to be its followers. But are we following it by the moral and ethical standards? Are we confident today that people will tell that here is a Muslim woman, here is a Muslim man, so yes, they will never give bribe, they will never take bribe. If it's a Muslim man, a Muslim woman, they are never going to tell a lie, they are always going to tell the truth. Here is a Muslim man and a Muslim woman, they are going to be the most inclusive people, the most tolerant people, the most generous people. Have we gained this name? Because these are the qualities laid down in the Quran for us to follow. We have been even taught how to behave with others, how to walk, how to talk, how to laugh, when not to laugh. This is the way Quran, Allah Ta'ala has explained to us much more clearly than would ever our parents would be able to do for us. So when a confidence building of an individual Muslim, is he feeling this nearness and connect with the Quran is the point. Are these being told in the nerve centers of Islam, that is the masjids? Are we confident today that a person is graduated out of a madrasa for the whole life? He is never going to booze, he is never going to smoke, he is never going to harass a woman, he is never going to cast a negative glance on a woman, he is never going to lie, he is never going to bribe. Are we confident today from any single madrasa, right from the Deoband to the Gully madrasas? Sorry, we are not. At least I am not. Coming down to the educational institutions, the conventional ones, even there, are we confident that the corporate schools are today delivering to the India, whether it is Muslims or non-Muslims, that we are raising conscious citizens, informed citizens, citizens who will not feel suppressed but will be having the boldness to question? We are not confident, neither from the madrasas nor from the corporate schools. So what can we expect from such an individual who is afraid to question, who is afraid to question the norm and accept what just is being given to them? Now coming down to Muslims vis-a-vis his contribution, her contribution in the society, both in the Indian arena as well as the global. The bugging issues today at the global level and at the Indian level. Today local is global and global is local, as we all will agree and know. What about the climate change? When the Copenhagen summit is happening, when the Paris climate change summit is happening, what was the message from the Muslim countries? What was the message from the Muslim economists, from the Muslim environmentalists, if ever they are? If ever there are. What is the message based upon the Quran that we delivered to the world when the Paris climate summit change was happening? What is our view, opinion that we gave based and premised upon the Quran? When the wars are happening, when the war industry is booming today in the whole world, what is our message to the UN Poverty Summit? That why poverty is occurring? What are the ayahs that we told and we were told from the Quran, telling that if we are implementing the so-called Islamic economics that's happening today, could we showcase that as a model to remove poverty? Has the current Islamic banking been successful in removing poverty? What was our deliverance to the society? What was our deliverance to the society in India when liquor booze has been happening and the government wants revenue from there, and today we had the Supreme Court telling that no more bars on the highways, and the Maharashtra government has denotified the highways so that the bars can continue on the highways. What was the message of Islam? What was the message of the Indian Muslims to the Supreme Court and to the government of India? We did not. We could not. Because we scarcely rely on our book, the Quran. What about the anti-dowry campaign? What is the Islam's and Muslims' message? I am not talking about Islam. I am talking only about the Muslim, because it is the Muslims who have the road ahead. We have a vast road ahead. There is no question mark about it. But to deliver that, we have to have our episteme as Quran and only the Quran. आज के दिन शरीयत की आड़ में हमें खेल नहीं खेलना चाहिए. हम शरीयत बोलते हैं तो लफ्ज़ कुरान की इस्तेमाल क्यों नहीं हो रही है? हम कुरान की बात क्यों नहीं करते? हम जब हम आम मुस्लिम से बात करना शुरू करते हैं तो वो हदीस से शुरू कर जाते हैं. हदीस की हम कोई डिनोमिनेट नहीं कर रहे हैं. लफ्ज़ कुरान क्यों नहीं निकल रहा है? So vis-a-vis the society, individually, in the global arena, in the local arena, there is a lot of scope. Not just lot of the scope, it is for us right now to offer everything and everything, but just premised upon the Quran. Assalamu alaikum.